For just $8,999, the full boost button deadline, the fully equipped foldable phone, the Honor Magic V6 Teardown, is finally here. Why does a foldable phone need 3 speakers? How thin can a blade battery make a phone? What's the actual use of pure titanium VC liquid cooling? Compared to the Oppo Find N6, which one has more premium internal components?
You'll know once you see the Teardown. I'm showing you a GIF. The Honor Magic V6 just launched, and I immediately spent $8,999 to get a Chichu red one for a Teardown review for you all. Once I took this device apart, the red horsehair gradient textured back cover looked truly stunning. From different angles, the horsehair texture looks unique, and the flocked feel is very comfortable. With its gold frame, it just looks so premium.
But some guys are saying this phone looks a lot like a Meizu model. Does anyone know which one it is? From its appearance compared to the previous generation, it looks something like this. Overall, the V5 has more curves, but the V6 is much more straight-edged, making it more comfortable to hold. I really have to give the V6's flat screen a big thumbs up. Plus, its outer screen is super wear resistant and anti-reflective. They call this the Black Diamond screen. Compared to the V5, its screen when off looks incredibly deep, and the outer screen's ratio is wider than most foldables, so using it feels more like a regular slab phone. After unfolding, comparing the crease to the last generation, it definitely looks much improved, but objectively speaking, when it comes to the crease, nothing on the market is shallower than the N6. Comparing the inner screen's brightness between the V6 and N6 to the naked eye, the N6 appears brighter. Let's look at the darkness again. In terms of darkness, Honor is darker. If you use an Honor phone, watching movies in bed will be easier on your eyes. Finally, let's comprehensively compare the crease and anti-reflection effects with other competitors. Number 2 is Honor, who are 1, 3, and 4 respectively. Experts, please comment. I'm worried my words might get this video removed. Alright, we'll start with the exterior here. Does this phone's internal components match its advertised full specs and justify its 9,000 yuan starting price? So let's just start the teardown. First, after heating, use this thin metal tool and alcohol to cut the screen's adhesive. The whole teardown process was incredibly challenging. Once disassembled, I found the adhesive on this IP68 and IP69 rated foldable phone is truly excessive. They've used 2 layers of screen adhesive. I mean, when I was trying to lift the screen with alcohol and a suction cup, it just wouldn't budge at all. The screen itself is BOE's Q10 display. The reason this generation's screen bezel is so narrow is because they've upgraded to the latest LIPU packaging technology. The Oppo Find N6 we disassembled the other day also uses this same tech. In short, it integrates the COP package buffer layer and the screen's folding layer, directly using polymer material to harden and plastic seal the fold. The outer screen's touch IC I checked is Synaptics 9331T. Alright, let's go ahead and take off the back cover. Still forcibly removing the back cover. And this IP69 back cover adhesive is also quite tight, guys. I checked the back cover's material. It's fiberglass on the inside with an outer flocked patch. The 2 small contacts on the camera deco's back power, the front flash. The other metal pins connect to the motherboard, making this front metal deco a signal antenna for receiving signals. Okay, let's examine the internal structure of the Honor Magic V6. On a scale of 1 to 9, what's your score? First, let's remove the screws from this motherboard section and take off the motherboard cover. To control the body's thickness, this time only the motherboard cover in the bottom right corner of the lens was kept. This little guy has quite a few things integrated onto it. You can see an infrared emitter, an ambient light sensor, an anti-flicker sensor, and a flash. It's small but fully functional. So this yellow part on the back is its insulation layer. The wireless charging module beneath, I checked, supports 66 watts of wireless charging, and it also supports reverse wireless charging. This power is higher than many flagship bar phones, and its thickness is also very slim. I measured it and it's only 0.24 millimeters thick. The N6 we disassembled a couple of days ago was also very thin at 0.27 millimeters. Alright, let's go ahead and take this camera module off. Okay, the specifications for this triple camera system are as follows. A 1.56-inch 50 megapixel main sensor, paired with a half-inch 64 megapixel OV60B periscope telephoto lens and a 50 megapixel f2.2 aperture ultra-wide angle lens. So the camera specs for these 3 lenses seem to be no different from the previous generation V5. Actually, its ultra-wide aperture is 0.2 larger than the previous generation, so the overall light intake for the ultra-wide will be greater. I compared the main camera and telephoto results with the Oppo Find N6. The main camera's resolution is still stronger on the 200 megapixel N6. Now for the telephoto effect, take a look for yourselves. Who do you think has a better balance of hardware and algorithms? Anyway, the imaging performance of both these devices in the foldable phone segment is quite excellent. If your performance demands for foldable screens aren't that extreme and your budget isn't quite 9,000 yuan, then actually the previous generation Honor Magic V5 is also a good option. I checked Zhuanzhuan's used prices and it's now 3,000 when cheaper than a new one, down to just 6,300. Plus, every phone on Zhuanzhuan undergoes multiple rounds of official quality checks, so quality is guaranteed. Now let's remove this motherboard. Once removed, you can see the mid-frame corresponding to the SoC's heat generating area has been hollowed out. The color of the VC liquid cooling below looks a bit strange. This is because the V6's VC liquid cooling uses pure titanium material. The reason for using pure titanium is to achieve a thinner profile.
This allows for much stronger structural integrity for the device, and looking at this motherboard, it also features a unique double-layer stacked board design, specifically shaped to match the camera deco. The Honor Magic V6 processor is the full-blooded 5th generation Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, paired with LPDDR5X and UFS 4.1, a powerful combination, so in terms of its overall performance, you can absolutely rest assured there's no need to worry at all. Now let's take a look at the rear port section. The rear port and the card slot subboard are separately connected to the flex cable. The rear port supports a dual receive rate for USB 3.2 Gen 1 and also supports DP 1.2 output. To maintain the device's thin profile, it therefore utilizes a rather mainstream single fold design. The bottom speakers area looks very large. After disassembling it, we can see it's an AAC Technologies 1216A model. It also features a full metal enclosure with an ultra-thin custom design. I measured it and the thickness is only 2.66 millimeters. But this full metal enclosure isn't like traditional ones because to reduce its thickness, the speaker's front cavity is actually integrated into the metal mid-frame, sealed with this red rubber ring. Actually, it feels more like a combination of a full and a half chamber. The bottom speaker, when disassembled, is an AAC Acoustics 1115G specification, also an ultra-thin custom front cavity design on the mid-frame. So how does this speaker configuration compare to the Oppo Find N6 from its competitor? Let's directly compare them. Alright, after hearing the sound from both sides, do you all feel a significant difference? Next, let's go ahead and remove this small panel. Wait, how is there also a small speaker in here? Oh, this phone has 3 speakers, doesn't it? So I looked it up, and this little component is actually a 0710 specification small speaker designed for private calls, specifically to prevent sound leakage when the boss is on the phone. Wow, foldable screens truly are top tier. After removing the small panel on the right, I found there's a microphone underneath. And looking around, this device has 3 microphones located on the main board, subboard, and the rear camera module, which is a normal flagship configuration. On competitor N6, I took it apart and found 4. Removing the bottom cover, I saw a vibration motor with an incredibly large area. Look, it's bigger than my fingernail. The area really looks ridiculous. Let's grab a 0809 and compare sizes. It's roughly like this. However, from the side, you can see it's an ultra-thin custom motor with dimensions of approximately 9.5 by 1.5 and a thickness of only 1.94 millimeters, so its total volume is 294.5 cubic millimeters. Okay, let's take a look at the battery next. On the left, we have a 225 mAh battery, and on the right, it's 4595 mAh. Together, they total 7... Oh wait, no, that actually adds up to 6850 mAh. Huh, why is this different from the official specs? Oh, I checked. The Honor Magic V6's battery, only the 1 TB version has the 7150 mAh Qinghai Lake blade battery. Other memory versions use the 6850 mAh Qinghai Lake battery without the blade. This is truly the first time I've seen battery capacity vary by memory. Still, 6850 is quite impressive. I checked the battery I checked the battery manufacturer. It's Dongguan Xingning Detect. So both batteries are single core, single interface designs. Okay, that's it for the teardown. If your budget allows, how would you pick between the Honor Magic V6 and Oppo Find N6? Let me know in the comments.